I'm talking to future us. I hope we're all good. I pray we're all okay. Hello everybody, welcome back to Third Act. Happy April 2nd. Today's March 22nd, but happy April 2nd. Today, we will be reviewing Matilda from Brownsville, Lopez High School. We had a blast going to this show. I loved it. It was our first time going to a Brownsville high school, which I'm very, very impressed.
Yes.
And I hope that they can join the Palms next year.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think had they joined this year, they would have been a pretty good contender.
Yeah.
I think they had a lot of good things going on, and let's get into that.
I want to talk about the experience of going in there because they made the experience of this show like from the moment you walked into that auditorium till you walked out. When we walked in, I wish I could have recorded it, but when you walked into this hallway that was all decorated in books and different fun lights, writings on the walls, and even at the front, the main door, when you turned around, it was shaped like a book and it said Matilda on it. I find that so creative, and it's like, if I were a little kid, which I basically am, I would have exploded. I would have I don't know, it was
As
just
she
wonderful.
did. I think it was a really cool way to set the mood for the show, and for little kids or even younger kids. Like it was just really, really cool to know, okay, we're gonna experience Matilda from beginning to end.
It was so creative.
Walk in, when you take your seat, everything. It was really, really cool to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I've never seen anybody do that. All the way through, walking to your seat. It was so cool to see.
And their set was just beautiful. I mean, there was a setup, even decorations didn't just show up on stage. They were on the side and going towards the aisles. It was so fun. It was so beautiful and colorful, and it really stood out to me how detailed everything was. This
stage was huge. Huge. So I think they did such a good job at proportionally making the set pieces fill the space.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they utilized, which I've never heard anybody use them in any other show that I've seen, at least. They utilized their welding department,
mm-hmm.
or I don't know if that's what it's called, but the students who are taking welding classes, they built several contraptions
mm-hmm. that
went as part of the set, and actors climbed on them.
Yeah.
I thought it was so scary. I think as me as an actor, I would definitely have been oh my god, this is cool, but also I'm really scared of heights.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed that part. They utilized every part of their school basically in this musical somehow.
And as we're talking about the set, there were some pieces that I think were too big for kids to move on stage. I think there has to be a certain amount of height requirement or some sort of, I don't know. I think there were two towers in the back that would flip and be different parts of the set. Yes. And at one point they almost collided, or I think they did collide, and it's scary. But I mean, they know what they're doing. But I think it was just too big and bulky. You know what I mean? For kids to move. And when you don't have a professional theater that has the tracks for it, for an actual machine to move it, it's harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kids have to hit that mark, and it's hard, it's difficult. So I understand that was the only thing that I had trouble with the set. Everything else was just so fantastically detailed, but it was just that those two big towers. And I had a problem like that during Beauty and the Beast that I completely forgot about, how big those Beauty and the Beast Pioneer High School, those stairs were really wide too. But anyway, Now I'm remembering all the sets. And I'm going through all the sets. But no, yes.
I agree. I think there was a moment where they did almost collide. I remember that. But they handled it pretty well.
Oh, and yeah.
I want to give a shout out while we're talking about the set to Holly Pugnett and her husband and Michelle Wolding, who are the two directors there at Lopez High School. They did a phenomenal job with this. And I know that Holly and her husband, actually, if I'm not mistaken, they did study this in college. They studied technical theater, and
they do a great job. God. They do a phenomenal job.
Oh my God. There was nothing about this the tech of the show that there was like, I mean, everything I loved. I loved every moment of it. Going into the lights, I really
beautiful.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed all the color schemes that they had for the show. Holly is a genius when it comes to lights. For those of you who have seen some of the productions she's worked on at the Camille Playhouse.
Oh, yes.
She worked on West Side. She was our lighting designer for that. Stunning work. She just has this eye for like, oh my God, I don't know, like she just makes beautiful visuals on her stage. And the lighting, the color schemes, the timing, the silhouettes, everything was just so perfectly thought out, and it was just beautiful. I loved every tech element of this show. Like, I thought this was the show for tech. And that's honestly why I say if they had entered the Palm Awards, they would have been a really good contender in all of the tech elements.
Oh, definitely.
Because I know while Holly is the director and does lead a lot of the tech stuff there, I know that a lot of her students learned from her. And I know that a lot of those students did. There's no way that Holly and her husband did all of that. Yeah. Like, there's no way.
And I admire that in directors when they can pull off a set or tech like this and have their kids learn how to make something like that. I appreciate that
so much.
All the way. And I admire that, and I want to be like that when I become a director.
I think with lighting, it was almost like its own character. I don't know how to say that like correctly, but like it was such a big part of the show for me. It really set the tone for each part of where we were at. In her house, at the school, in the library, outside.
Storytelling.
Yeah, like it was so beautifully detailed, just like the set.
Okay, so let's move on to performance elements.
Yes.
Perfect.
Vocals?
Vocals.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid.
What?
Before we continue into vocals, can we talk about how they had a live band?
Oh my God!
I completely forgot, but it was so amazing.
No.
That band.
Let's talk about the support, okay? The support this school gives them. So I believe the principal came out at the beginning of the show and did like this 4 or 5 minute long speech, and Holly and Michelle came out as well, but she came out and basically said, thanked all the people that were involved in the production, and it included the welders, it included the music department, it included Holly, it included Michelle, Holly's husband. Everybody worked on this musical together as a school.
Yeah. And the principal was so proud.
Oh my God, yes!
The directors and the students.
You could just see it on her face. She was so happy to be there and so happy to support a program like this one.
I love that.
And I think we need more people like that.
Yes.
Because when you have that support, you're able to do your possibilities are endless.
Absolutely.
And I think kudos to them. Congratulations to you guys for having that support system. But when I say support, the reason I said that is because they took out 6-7 rows of seats to put this live band in the middle of the theater. And I was like, what? It was insane to think that all right, okay, take the seats out. Let's put a band there. What? I commend them so much for that. I mean, I'm sure the kids see that and think, wow, this means something.
Yeah.
This can mean something, and it does mean something to other people. And I'm sure that I hope that they take pride in that. Because not a lot of kids get to be a part of a program like that. Moving on to vocals. I enjoyed the vocals for this show.
Mm-hmm.
The vocals are not too difficult for the storyline or the type of musical. Okay, so a few vocal standouts for myself. I thoroughly enjoyed Matilda's voice. I thought her voice captured the essence of a young child, while still being able to like tell that it was coming from an older person. You know what I mean? Like, it was a high school girl playing a little girl, but it was like, it was still somewhat mature, which makes sense for Matilda because she is so intelligent and so ahead of her years. So I felt like the maturity in her voice was perfect for the character, if that makes any sense. Another vocal standout for me was her mother, Mrs. Wormwood. Her song, for those of you who know the musical, her song Loud is such an over-the-top number and super, super loud and fun and colorful, and her voice was stunning on it. It is a belty song, so one of those, you know, it's one of those songs that can become a little shouty at times, if you're not too careful, and she was amazing in that song. I loved it. Another vocal standout for me was Miss Honey. Yes, women. Miss Honey was a very good vocal standout for me. I thought her voice was perfect for the character. She was a sweet woman who was a little reserved, but at times was able to come out and, you know, just let it out. And I think
the door, Jenny.
I loved her voice. I think it was so beautiful and so smooth throughout the whole show. Those are some vocal standouts for me. Just a few of them.
Acting wise, Miss Honey was a really, really great standout for me. I think she showed a lot of maturity, and it's so easy to fall into what the rest of the kids, like ensemble members and Matilda, are doing and be a little bit more childish, but she was very mature, and I really appreciated that. I appreciated the fact that the doctor that delivered Matilda was an actual professor.
Yeah.
Like a teacher there at the school. I really appreciated that.
Who then went to work in the band. Yeah. I was like, okay, kudos to you.
I know. But I absolutely adored the ensemble work. Like, I think the kids were really into the show. You could tell that they were very connected to their characters and the storyline, and they were very passionate for what they were doing.
They definitely understood the story and what it meant. So I appreciated that a lot.
The only thing for me is finding the control in your voice and not being so shouty. Like, as kids, you are trying to portray loud kids, annoying kids, and I understand that, but well, I mean, yes, children are maggots. But at the same time, there has to be a level to where it doesn't overpower the rest of the ensemble. You know what I mean? There has to be somewhat of a level.
A balance.
Yes, and I wish I could have had a little bit more of that.
I think, talking about balance, I would say that the ensemble was pretty good at balancing that vocally. So I think there was a good balance with that. But yeah, I agree. I think there needs to be some level of balance when it comes to acting. Moving on to our favorite song. My favorite song was probably Loud. I mean, it was a show-stopping number. It is a show-stopping number in itself.
Wonderful.
But I think I loved the visuals of it. Like, the costume was so flashy, and, you know, like
her shoes.
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't stop staring at her shoes.
The dance moves and the singing, it was just, everything was perfectly in tune with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that was my favorite moment in the show itself.
My favorite song has to be When I Grow Up. I know we were sitting very close to the stage, but when I turned around, because I saw that the kids were going to the audience, they pulled swings from the catwalk and they were swinging on them, and I thought it was just so magical. And then the kids came out in scooters on stage. It was so perfect. Like, they embodied that song so well, and I felt it. Like, I really felt it.
Moving on to our diamond this week.
Our diamond this week is Noe Solis.
Yes.
He was Miss Trunchbull, correct?
Yes, Miss Trunchbull.
And he was so fantastic in the show. Acting wise, I loved his performance. I absolutely loved it. He killed it. And then in the middle of the show, he did a lot of like acrobatic moves during one of his songs, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I was trying not to like scream.
I want to talk about that for a second because it wasn't, I think it was towards the end.
Yeah.
Or in the middle of Act 2 maybe. In the middle of the song, he's like going at it, whatever, cool, awesome. Goes off stage and the music's still playing, so I was like, did something happen? Like, I was like, what the hell? Then he just runs and does a flip, no hands, in his costume, and I was like...
With, like, large boots? Or did he have his sneakers on?
He had the large boots on, but he had, like, the padding.
Yeah.
And it was just insane. Like, it... Oh, my God. It took me by surprise. It was breathtaking. I was, like, blown away by his entire performance.
Yes, I loved it so much.
But, yeah, I mean, congratulations to you. This was a wonderful show to watch, and I cannot wait to go back next year. To see what else they can put on.
I know.
I'm super excited also to hopefully be able to go see more Brownsville schools next year. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. All right, I think that brings us to the end of the video. Yeah, all right, so next week, our final review for this season will be Beauty and the Beast from the Harlingen Performing Arts Conservatory. This is one of our favorites this season. I'm really excited. So stay tuned for that. That's next week. Again, we hope everybody's staying safe, and we hope that all of this will soon be in the past and we can continue our lives as normal.
Yes. Amen.
But until then, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Bye.